Hey everybody out there on the internets, welcome again to another edition of Direct to Riff. Today I've got something that probably back in the day would have really intrigued me and would have thought that life and technology couldn't get much better, but today it's just kind of quaint. This is called Exploring Virtual Reality from 1994. And when I think about virtual reality and 1994, I think of Lawnmower Man, which isn't a great movie per se, but it had a lot of early CG graphics and it was a thing. But let's see if this is just as computery. I guess I don't have words right now. I just know I'm gonna see some really dated graphics here in a second. I just feel it. So let's just get this over with right now. Oh, great! A whole lot of credits scroll to tell me, be careful. I guess. Films for the humanities and science. Sure, I'm gonna get edumacated. Oh my god, we haven't even started really that much, and the CG is awesome. The show. Oh. Alright, sure, we're gonna show fertilization. That's totally fine. Right off the bat, we've got sex. The Silver Surfer know you just stole his board? Oh wow, I just had a flashback to, this is a long time ago, but Kim Jong-il was still alive and he was talking about rockets. Oh dear God, it's a tech-tite.
Communication between humans and computers has not always been easy. In the early
days, just like the audio on this thing is not syncing up with what's on the video.
The latest human-computer interface is virtual reality. In this system,
if you get any closer, I can smell your moose.
The keyboard.
God, I remember these kind of graphics on Trapper Keepers, and everyone thought it was the future.
Between a computer and its user are usually carried out in alphanumeric data.
Whoa, I'm tripping balls now.
This data displayed
a mouse materializing out of nowhere. This is the future. Oh, mechanical keyboards. Listen to that clickety clack.
Technology that greatly enhances user-computer communications. It immerses the user into a three-dimensional representation of
Robo
the data,
dork.
into a surrogate environment, so to speak.
Oh my God, I haven't seen graphics this bad since race driving on
hear, and even touch
Sega Genesis.
The objects in that environment.
What the hell am I even looking at?
Lets you explore an environment as you would in the real world, except that in this case, the environment is virtual, which means it exists only in the computer's memory.
Wouldn't have figured that out. Oh, these fonts. Oh, this is the best. Oh my God, I love this.
Special equipment to enter into a virtual reality environment.
Puts it on, all of a sudden it starts bleeding from the ears.
A helmet that presents each eye with built-in liquid crystal display screens.
They shoot liquid crystals into your eyes so they
under
bleed.
A slightly different angle. This kind of system gives depth to what the user sees.
Can't say the same for what I'm actually looking at on screen, but sure, we'll say depth.
But the most amazing thing about virtual reality is that it gives you the feeling you are totally immersed in that virtual world.
Yep, Virtual Boy surely taught me that.
If you turn your head to the left,
it's like they really haven't improved this much, in 30 years.
Which direction you turn. To achieve this, the computer has to know at all times where the user is looking.
Meanwhile, a bus just came up and smashed into him.
A built-in device on the helmet tracks the user's head movements and feeds the information to the computer. This device consists of a transmitter and a receiver. The transmitter is placed near the user. It
Well,
generates an
it's on his
electromagnetic
face. I
field
think
in
it would be
3 directions,
near the user.
each perpendicular
Call
to
me
the other
crazy. I don't know what kind of science you're peddling here, but...
two. The receiver is mounted on the helmet. It consists of 3 coils of wire placed at right angles to each other. When a magnetic field passes through a wire coil, it generates an electric current proportional to the field's strength.
Are you sure this isn't inserted into their brain? Oh,
The strongest currents are produced when the orientation of the
this is
3
making
coils
me question
coincides
everything I
with
know
that of the
about
transmitter's
life.
magnetic fields. The strength of the electrical charges produced by each coil.
So in other words, you
will
made
determine the
electricity just
position
flow through
and
my brain
orientation
more
of the
often
user's
than I
head.
really want. Thank you for that. Oh, these are great JPEGs.
This data is fed into the computer.
Oh my
The
god.
data
I was
allows
joking
the
about
computer
that is
to
literally a
determine the
JPEG.
view the user should be seeing. This system is
Oh,
also
man.
used to determine the
You
position
got an
of
old
the
school
hands
power
in
glove there,
space.
bud.
The receiver is fastened on top of the hand.
Oh man, I can't wait to see Hitsutani
To
Miku or
manipulate
whatever her
virtual
name
objects,
is.
however, you need an additional tool called a data glove. The data glove tells the computer the position of the user's fingers and their exact location in space.
Ooh. Ah.
The glove is made of lycra and fits snugly around the hand.
So you too can
The
become
shaped
Catwoman.
fiber optic cables run along the back of each finger. Connected to
It's
a
like I can
constant
almost
light
touch
source,
her.
each
It's
cable runs up
amazing.
the back of the hand and over one knuckle on each finger, and then loops back to the light source. The
Oh,
light
please
source is
stop.
then
This isn't
converted
helping
into
anything.
electrical signals that are transmitted to the computer. When you bend a fiber optic cable as you would a finger, the light circulating in the cable tends to escape through small scores or cuts in the cable sheath.
That sounds complicated and dangerous.
The more the knuckle
Surprised
bends,
you just don't
the
catch
more
on
light
fire.
escapes, and therefore the less light reaches the photosensor. This lowers the electrical signal transmitted to the computer. The computer can interpret the
No
light
wonder you're
signal
not
data
doing
to
so
figure
hot.
out
You got a
the precise
gateway.
position of the fingers.
His mustache could process faster than that damn
The data
computer
glove
could.
enables you to grasp and manipulate virtual objects.
I have a thought!
But virtual reality also lets you feel the objects you are holding.
I really don't want to think about that.
A device attached to the fingers produces tactile stimulations. The
We
sensor
cannot
consists
use
of a
that
series
combination of
small
words
coils, similar
like
to those
that
used in loudspeakers,
for the sake of
which
the
vibrate
children.
at varying
Please
speeds and
refrain from saying
frequencies.
that again.
These vibrations allow the user to distinguish between a hard object and a soft
Oh
one, for
god,
instance.
you're making it
Of
too
course,
easy
the
right
computer
now.
controls this vibrotactile stimulation device.
Just
As soon
think,
as it
30
receives
years
data
ago, this
from
is
the
like
data
$10
glove
million
telling it
worth
that
of
the user's
fapping.
hand is around an object, the computer triggers a command that vibrations be sent to the fingers touching the object.
Ooh, it's just bouncing around.
To
I'm
make the
having a
simulation
good
even
time.
more realistic, the sounds associated to the environment being explored are played in the headphones. These sounds may even originate in the virtual world.
Ooh. This reminds me
Virtual
of
reality
Pilot
is a
Wings,
heady,
only
multi-sensory
worse
experience.
somehow.
It is so astoundingly realistic.
Yep,
that you
I am
completely forget
astounded at
all
how
the
realistic this
paraphernalia you
looks.
have to wear to experience it. Virtual reality can be used for telepresence, scientific research,
We still don't use it in Zoom.
education, and of course, fun. Not surprisingly, artists have been among the first to pounce on the new technology.
Oh,
Musicians, for
please don't
instance,
ever
are
use that
creating
word either.
Virtual acoustic environments and futuristic instruments.
Alright, this is a thing we're doing now. So, we're talking about virtual reality while
One music
sitting in a
lover
green
hasn't
screen room.
wished she could get the full richness of a cathedral's acoustics when simply enjoying a recording of her favorite chamber music. That wish
no.
has now become a virtual reality.
Oh, no, it still would
Indeed,
suck.
scientists have developed a system that can simulate the acoustics of various environments. This means we will be able to curl up in our favorite armchair and listen to chamber music with the feeling that we are actually sitting in a majestic cathedral.
And probably regretting it too.
Essentially, what the system does is add reverberation to pre-recorded sound. The reverberation is what would normally
reverberation. That's
occur
another
in the
word we
room
definitely
to
shouldn't be
simulated.
using. On my computer? Oh man, I remember those
To create this
screensavers.
type of simulation, first you have to describe the room to the computer. The
Kevin
description
Nealon?
specifies the room size and geometric perimeter, as well as the degree of sound absorption
I
of its
point
surfaces.
and then do things. My life is really hard. Oh god,
A
I remember
surface's
this
degree
part
of
from
sound
Fester's
absorption
Quest. It
depends mainly on the
sucks.
type of material it is composed of. Some materials, such as carpet fabrics, absorb sound, whereas others, such as stone, reflect it.
Never would have thought
The
that.
computer is also told of the location of the musicians and audience in the virtual room. Informed of all these specifications, the computer determines the characteristics of the reverberation the virtual room produces.
Look, I'm sorry things didn't pan out
The
Saturday Night Live,
reverberation
but you could be
begins
doing
with a
so much
series of
better
short
than this.
and immediate echoes, followed by diffuse and long-lasting reverberation.
Like, I sit low in chairs, but even that seems a little bit low. Oh, who
In
are
a
you
small
kidding? You're
room,
just
the echoes
slapping
occur
those
very
keys.
early
You're not even
and
really
help to
playing
pinpoint
that.
the sound source.
Meanwhile, her friend is just sitting there bored out of her wits. Or her instructor. Yeah, like she would have a
By
friend.
contrast, in a large room, it takes them more time to reach the listener's ears.
I
As
never
for the
would have
diffuse
imagined that.
reverberation, it seems to come from everywhere. It lasts longer in a large room than in a small one, as it does in a room with sound-reflecting walls
she's
than in one
terrible.
with absorbing walls.
Yes, if I nod harder, she
As
might
mentioned
get
earlier,
better.
the computer must be given all the specifics of the room in which the simulation will take place, including the position of the loudspeakers in relation to the listener. This data is important because the computer commands each speaker to emit a particular combination of
It's
early
so
echo
fascinating.
and diffuse reverberation.
I'm so riveted. I'm bored to tears.
Indeed, only a few of the 6 loudspeakers around the
This
listener
reminds-
produce the echo,
Looking at this
for
just
instance.
reminds me of the old
With this
Maxell
kind of
commercials where the
simulation
dude
system, a
pulls
computer
out a
will be able
cassette
to
tape and
satisfy
then
a
puts it in the
listener's
stereo
every
and
whim.
he sits down with a drink and then the music plays and the glass shatters and he's just getting
Computers
blown
can
back.
also help
And
musicians augment and expand their performance virtuosity.
Judy, are
especially
you
when it
still
exceeds the
here?
realm of
I'm
traditional
done with
musical
you, girl.
instruments.
Go
Excited
away.
by the possibilities, researchers have developed hyper instruments. In this case, a violin linked up to a computer.
You're still here. You even call that playing? God, get out of here.
The violin-computer combination expands
Stop,
the
you
range
suck,
of sound
go
effects
away,
an
we
instrumentalist
need to fire
can
you
control.
now.
In a hyper-instrument, the interaction between the player and the computer is based upon the principles of virtual reality. The player asks the computer to produce the desired sounds by simply varying his or her interpretation. To achieve this, the computer must be constantly
Never went
informed
down
of
to
the
Georgia. He
violinist's
was looking for a
gestures
soul to steal.
and hence intentions. A first device mounted on the end of the neck of the violin is used to determine the violin's
Oh, so they're using
orientation
leeches.
based on the strength of the terrestrial magnetic field it detects.
Wait, we're using earth magnets? How do they work?
A second sensor measures the position of the bow. This device consists of 2 small magnets mounted on the heel and point of the bow.
It almost seems like this is sophisticated when...
In addition, a
don't
detector
really
fastened
care.
under the violin's sound box measures the magnetic field coming from these small magnets.
Ooh.
A bracelet
How many
on the
pieces of
musician's
equipment
arm
does she need to be
measures
strapped
the
onto?
extension
Good
and
lord, it's like
flexion of the wrist.
robo-violinist.
Try playing, let's try it. I can.
Unlike a traditional violin, the hyperviolin radiates no acoustic energy. The vibrations of the top plate are measured with a piezoelectric polymer.
Oh my
providing
god, this
electrical
dude's a
signal that sounds
douchebag.
like a violin.
Faster, more, yes, power, I need it. No.
These
Give me
signals,
this.
together
Let me
with
show
the
you what to
measurements
do
from
with
the
this
bow and the
staff.
player, are
Like, jam
transmitted
up
to
your
the
ass.
computer, where they are calibrated and analyzed.
Okay, I'm glad you're keeping it. Oh, please don't. Oh, dear God.
Their
Oh,
interpretation
okay,
tells the computer what changes it must
He's
make
still
to the
playing
instrument's
the
natural
instrument.
sound.
Thank God. I thought he was playing his other instrument.
Such changes might include adding reverberation
She doesn't
or
want to be
melodic
here.
accompaniment composed of synthesized sounds. The resulting sound is finally transmitted through a series of loudspeakers.
Yes, I'm a twit. Man, why can't I have a chair
Like
that does
acoustic
that?
environment simulations, hyper instruments are virtual instruments that produce sounds that are possible only with the assistance of computer intelligence.
Yeah. I don't even want to think about computer intelligence back
Virtual
then.
reality offers the artists of the 21st century
You
possibilities that are
couldn't
simply mind-boggling.
scale back
It will
the
also help
border
define
that I
two
could actually
existing
see her
technologies,
entire. You have
such
no
as
headroom for this woman.
telerobotics and simulation learning.
We're all dead. You just showed that. Now we're all dead. There's no
There are instances where
reason to
something
even
needs to be
do
done,
anything because
but
once
in
the
an
nuke drops,
environment that
we're
is
done.
dangerous to human beings. Telerobotics is the perfect answer to situations like these.
Oh, so you're preparing us
Telerobotics
for,
combines the power
Skynet.
and
That's
flexibility
cool.
of a robot with the intelligence and dexterity of a human being.
If you've seen anything by Boston Dynamics,
The
you know we're
principle
not
of
there yet.
operation of a telerobotic system is simple.
What are you
On
gonna
the
do, drop
one
it?
hand, you have a robot in a potentially dangerous environment. The robot is equipped with 2 video cameras for eyes and microphones for ears. The images and sounds the robot picks up are transmitted to
Man,
an
those early
operator in a
virtual boys
laboratory
look terrible.
who's wearing a stereoscopic display and headphones. The human operator sees and hears everything the robot sees and hears, and has the distinct impression he or she is where the robot is.
This is so wild. God, can you imagine just walking by and seeing someone doing that?
Telerobotics
You'd think they
offers
were
a
having
great
an
deal more.
episode.
A robotic arm and hand can be made to emulate human hand gestures from a distance, or perform a delicate task such as repairing a high voltage wire, for instance. To do this, the operator inserts his arm and hand into a device that measures the position and force applied by these parts of the body. This device is called the master arm. It consists
I'm
of a
sure.
series of
And
sensors which
David
transmit to the
Carradine would have
computer
loved to
the
got
position of
himself
the
a
shoulder,
hands on
elbow,
this.
wrist, thumb, and middle finger, as well as the force applied. The computer translates the data into position control commands that are transmitted to the robot. The robot will then faithfully reproduce the operator's movements. In addition,
Here
if the
you
object
witness
held
him
by the
getting
robot is
savagely
very
beaten
heavy,
by a
the
plank of
computer will
wood.
magnify the force applied by the operator. In addition, the resistance felt by the robot is transmitted to the operator by means of small hydraulic motors mounted along the master arm. To perform tasks requiring great dexterity, however, the operator
We have
wears
no
a
hope for
device on his
that.
hand
We have
that
yet to figure out a
precisely measures the
science to do
movements of his
origami
fingers.
with robotic hands.
This device consists of an assembly of metal links that fits over the user's hand. Each link consists of a magnet that generates a magnetic field and a sensor attached to each
Man, the
finger
insane
joint.
clown posse
Each
would
sensor
just be
changes its signal
dumbstruck
output
by all of
voltage
these
in
magnets
proportion
and
to
how
the
they
magnetic
work.
field it is experiencing. As the finger joint bends or straightens out, the magnet moves closer or farther away from the sensor. As a result, the voltage induced in the sensor varies.
So this seems like a pretty
The
elaborate
signals
way to
from all
pick
the
your
finger
nose.
joint sensors are sent to a computer. The computer
I am
interprets them
enthused
and
by this
almost
progress.
instantly determines the degree of flexion of each finger joint.
That's not
More
how you
recently,
play
a group of
Seaman.
researchers developed another system which reproduces the force normally applied in handling an object on the
I've
operator's
seen people
fingers.
with stuff like
The way
that,
it
but
works
usually
is
it's because
simple.
they broke their
Cables
arm.
activated by small
Or
motors
they're,
pull
you know,
one
broke
or
their
another of
wrist.
the bands around the
And it
operator's
requires
fingers.
pins.
The application of these forces gives the operator the sensation that he is really touching the object. Although the
I'm
object
so
is in
glad I
fact
can't smell
virtual.
him right now because I can tell it wouldn't be pleasant.
A device may also be attached to the exoskeleton, which allows the operator to remote control a robotic arm.
Okay, that
This
one
device
broke their
measures
arm.
the operator's arm and forearm movements. It consists
What?
essentially of a
Girls in
series of
technology?
potentiometers
That's
attached to the
impossible.
shoulder and elbow.
Everyone knows there's no girls on the internet.
These potentiometers precisely measure the angles of the shoulder and elbow in every direction.
What, did she
the
just reflect
anatomy of the arm
bullets?
allows.
That's
These
cool.
measurements are transmitted to a computer, which interprets them. Once the movements have been identified, the computer translates the data into arm movement commands it
And then
sends to the
stabs
robotic
the
arm.
helpless victim.
Telerobotics is but one of the many applications of virtual reality. Virtual reality has proven to be extremely useful in architecture, for example.
You
It
know,
allows
by looking at
architects
these
to walk
compressed
through the buildings
JPEGs.
they design before they are even built.
Yep. You convinced me. I'm in a real fucking building right now.
Virtual reality gives them a much more accurate idea of what the final structures will be like than a technical drawing ever could.
Totally.
It allows them to correct minor miscalculations, the height of a window, for instance, or the width of a door, details that might have gone unnoticed on paper, and that would have been difficult to fix once the building was completed.
Well, yeah, when you have a door like... Oh god, you're so boring, I'm yawning. When you have a
Virtual
door that's
reality
like
is
actually
also a
off of the
valuable
floor,
training
it's
tool
not really
for
a
such
door anymore, it's like a
complex
cupboard.
tasks as piloting an airplane, for instance. Indeed, it gives trainees an opportunity to perfect their skills. Thanks to the visual,
Really?
sound,
You're
and
using
tactile
cartoon
sensations
Foley? That's
produced
great.
by the system's various devices, pilots feel they are at one with their machine. The amazing
let's
realism
not
of
go
these
there.
sessions help them to assimilate their technical skills.
I'm just waiting for that
Similarly,
voice, that
a
green
surgeon
head
can
from
practice
that
delicate
Atari
surgery
Jaguar
by
game to come out and
operating
say,
on a
"Where did
virtual
you learn
patient."
to fly?"
Virtual reality enables the surgeon to examine the organs to be operated on from every possible angle. Moreover, since the virtual patient is
Alright,
entirely
sure, we're
computer-generated,
going
no
into this
human
whole
life is
Mr.
at stake.
Goodbody realm. We might as well just, Yep, that's exactly what my spine
Virtual
looks like.
reality is a rapidly growing technology. Given its incredible potential, it is bound to soon become a part of our everyday lives.
Still waiting on that.
Someday, a physician in Boston will be able to perform surgery on a patient in an OR in Montreal. Let's hope that by then, communication breakdowns will be a thing of the past.
Good luck with that, because it's still gonna happen, and it still does. And I feel like I've learned something that's made me dumber. Oh wait, this was translated? Okay, so that's why the things all feel like weird. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I was thinking like the audio was kind of, but it's just bad dubbing. Yeah, I wouldn't admit to making any of those computer animations or graphics. And I know some of these people were doing things for a paycheck, but you made some bad decisions. I guess this is French. Can't figure out how I know that, but I'm getting the idea that it's French. I could barely read some of this because it's in French, and I'm dumb. I get 1994, so there's that. And that was the thing. Yes! It's VHS for your ass. That's adorable. And I'm sure this actually... From Princeton, New Jersey? Wow. I feel smarter already. Well, I guess I learned some things about virtual reality. Not really, but it does seem better than what the Virtual Boy or the Power Glove ever did, so cool there. But, yeah. Ooh, science is neat. So, until next time, kiddies. Toodles.